Welcome back, campers. How about joining me for breakfast this morning out here? This is me cooking eggs on my rocket stove. Cinderblock rocket stove. What a delightful little thing this is. Let me show you how easy it is to make one of these babies. Okay, the version of the rocket stove that I make is very, very simple. It requires 3 cinder blocks, a piece of wire. I will show you how I got this in a minute, and you'll need some kind of a grate to cook on. Now, if you're doing camping already, then you've already got something like this that you're putting over the fire. So whatever you've got, that's what you use. In addition to that, you're going to need 3 cinder blocks and this piece of wire. These cinder blocks cost me a total of about $7. This piece of wire cost me $3. I'm sure I could get it cheaper. But this right here, everything you need for a perfect camp stove. Okay, now let me show you about these cinder blocks. I've got 2 different kinds of cinder blocks here. This one over here, this is just the basic cinder block that you would get at Lowe's or Home Depot or any place to sell cinder blocks. These 2 here, they're slightly different. These blocks are what are called Ivany blocks, I-V-A-N-Y, and they're used to make retaining walls in landscaping. So, though you may not be able to find them at a Lowe's or a Home Depot, you should be able to find them easily at a landscaping store or at a cement block place or something like that. Okay, as you can see, I start by just stacking the 2 Ivany blocks on top of each other. It's just quite that simple, and they're stacked so that the end channels, you can see they're all charred, those actually become your burn chamber. All right, so you just stack those 2 guys on top of each other. And then the cinder block, the ordinary cinder block, I stuck right in the front, as you can see right here. And this will become where I put my fuel, and it will be on the lower chamber there where the air gets into the burn chamber, which you see now formed right here. And here you see the piece of wire that I showed you earlier. Now, what this is for is I stick it in that upper chamber so it will hold the fuel. You'll see that in a minute. And where I got it was, this was originally the paint strainer for a 5-gallon bucket of paint to drip the excess paint off your roller. It's called a roller strainer. Paid about $3 at Lowe's. End up using not half of it, so I'm sure you can find a cheaper alternative. But this is in there to give you something to set the fuel on and to create a support inside the burn chamber so that it just doesn't drop off immediately. Okay, and that is the construction of your wood stove. Could it get any easier than that? Could it really get any easier than that? Obviously, the tricky part of using the rocket stove is going to be getting the fire going to start with. And if you've got the right kind of fuel, then all you'll have to do is you'll just light a stick and put it in the end of the opening grate there. But it's not always possible to get the really right kind of fuel. My perfect fuel is something like lighter wood, the fat wood that you get from pines. But it's not always possible to get the perfect kind of fuel. So you may have to go through some work to get your fire started, but it's so simple even to do that. In this case, all I do is I just kind of start a teepee fire in the burn chamber, It's like so easy to do. You just put some of that wood in there that would normally be then this time you're using is kindling wood, and you light a teepee fire, and you let that teepee fire burn, and you let everything get hot, and then you come in and you start putting your wood into the front of the fire chamber. That works every single time. It's very, very easy. This is the greatest thing in the world to put a teepee fire in. It'll start to burn, and then you begin putting your fuel in here. Now, already somebody is thinking, oh, I'm going to put me some charcoal lighter on there. You can do that. It will work. Just stand back, okay? When you do that, this doesn't spread out. It goes straight up, so just stand back. I got a memento of that. All right. This is one of the greatest devices that I've discovered so far. Camp Cool. Camp Cool. I'm going to figure out a way to take these cinder blocks with me when I travel. If you don't think this is totally cool, if this does not blow your skirt up, then, well, you're probably not into camping. You should probably stick it in an RV park. Now, I'm going to go eat me some of this great breakfast. All righty, y'all. Catch you next time. Hasta.